I've never had a girlfriend or a relationship. So people often ask me, "Hey Peter, do you have a girlfriend?" Well, this video was brought to you by Kiersten, and she was like, "I want to know the story behind your very first relationship." Well, that's a pretty short story, because truth be told is, I've never had a girlfriend or a relationship. But you're like, why do you have all these dating videos about this, and this? Well, the joke is, I try to make it short, is that I've never had a girlfriend or relationship for more than 1 year. But I'll leave that up to another video. So when it came to my first real ever relationship or girlfriend, it goes back to when I was 12 or 13 years old, I remember. Cause just like your first girl you ever dated, the first time you had sex, the first time you do anything is you're going to have some kind of reference experience. And when I was 12, I think it was 13 years old, I was a part of this church Christian-ish summer camp. And this lasted for 2 weeks. And my parents decided to sign me up for this. And I met this guy, let's call him Bob. And me and Bob got along really well. People thought we were cousins, but we got along very well. We had similar kind of traits and personalities. He was kind of hot-headed. And he saw me as a bigger, like a big brother kind of figure. And you're like, what the hell does this have to do with a girl? Well, he had this crush on this girl that he kept talking about. I'm like, oh, cool, man, cool. I'm happy for you that you like this girl. And well, this summer retreat camp, church thingy, whatever, a part of it was to go to this church every week. And he pointed out the girl that he liked. I'm like, oh, so how do you know her? It's like, oh, I met her through a friend of a friend. And I messaged her on like MSN, AIM, Yahoo, for all you young kids cats that don't know that. That's instant messaging. I'm like, oh, cool. So this church camp eventually makes us go on this retreat in this like wild cabin area, and we had to sleep over. And you know, we would be in this little room, this little house, and we would have sing-along, singing Kumbaya and being all happy and all that stuff. And we would pretty much sit cross-legged, and there'd be some kind of facilitator trying to convert us and talking about things. And all of a sudden, this girl keeps looking at me, and she keeps poking me, like literally poking me and smiling and going. And when I was 12 and 13, I'm like, what the hell is this girl's problem? Why does she keep poking me? Right? She's like, I'm like, okay, this girl is hella annoying. And pretty much once that summer camp thing ended, she kept trying to take my hat. You know, back in the day, just like how I am today, I like to wear hats because my big ass forehead. And this girl kept trying to take my hat and kept poking me. And I'm like, what the hell is this girl's problem? Why won't she just leave me alone, right? So next thing you know, once this summer camp had ended and we all parted our ways, and on the very last day, she took my hat, and I kept on chasing her, and I remember specifically grabbing her down like that. Okay, not like in a physical assault way. Okay, she had my hat, so I held her arms like this, and then she's just smiling and giggling. And I got my hat back, and that was it. Or so you think. So what eventually happened was she added me on MSN, AIM, and we eventually started chatting back and forth and back and forth. And we eventually hung out. And next thing you know, from hanging out, we started holding hands. And back when you were 12 years old, holding hands was like mind blasting to a girl. I felt like I was on top of the world. That was the story of my first girl or relationship I've ever dated. And there's a lot of funny stories out of this. It was the time where I lied to a girl where I was like, have you ever dated a girl before? I'm like, yeah, you're totally, like, there was a girl before you and a girl like before that. But in my mind, I'm like, oh God, please don't make her think I'm a noob at this dating thing. The significance behind this story was that this was the time where I didn't really understand dating, and it affected me throughout, you know, the years of my teens, where I constantly attracted girls that were insecure because I was insecure. I constantly look for validation through other people, and me thinking that being in a relationship was gonna solve all my problems. That finding that perfect girl, that it was gonna make this entire situation in my life and all this better. But so far, I haven't found that girl yet. And truth is, for me, every time I got myself into a relationship, it became more stressful. I had another person that I had to worry about. Well, in all reality, I didn't even have my life together, and I would rather focus on me and have everything that I know have 100% than jump into some random relationship. But that's a rant for another video, and that video was brought to you by Kiersten, because she wanted to know my very first relationship. But don't worry, I've learned my lesson. I ain't no slimy, greasy bastard that you think I may or may not be. I'm just an innocent Asian guy that has some cool dating stories. And if anyone, you guys want to know more of these, let me know. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.